Hello students, welcome back to you. Now we are going to read the remaining part of unit 3. So in unit 1, what was the theme? The theme was the birth, upbringing and education of Steve Jobs. In the unit 2, it was all about love and lust. In the unit 3, Steve Jobs has mentioned a clear picture on death. Means he had seen death very closely. So initially in the initial paragraphs, what was the theme? Let's focus. What was taught in the previous class? It was at the age of 17. When he was only 17 years old, once he had read a quotation that if you are thinking that today is the last day of your life, then you can do lots of things. It means live today is the last day of your life, so that you can focus on what you are doing and what you have planned to do. So every day he was waking up and looking himself in the mirror and thinking that as today is the last day of my life. That's why everything was running smoothly. But what happened one day, he was having some health disorder, and when he just did the treatment, it came out that he was having cancer. And what type of cancer? It was a pancreas cancer. And it was not known to him what pancreas was, but still he was in cancer, and the doctors have told him that it is incurable. The disease is diagnosed, but it is incurable. It means Steve Jobs was going to die. This is spoken by the doctors. So the doctors told him to go home and to get the things ready. Means everything should be settled so that it would be easy for his family to cope up after his death. So all day he was thinking that he is going to die, he is going to die. It means he is also focusing that he had to speak lots of things to his kids. But right now he has to speak all these things within 3 to 6 months. This was the chief problem, and he was in a mental tension, mental dilemma. But in the evening he went for biopsy, and there some cell was being taken from his pancreas from the tumor, and when the doctors they treated it under the microscope, they found that it was a rare form of pancreatic cancer which is being cured by surgery. Okay, and though he was though he was sedated, he was senseless, he was given anesthesia, his wife Lawrence was present there, and she told all these things, and then he had the surgery, and right now he is fine, and he was expecting to live more and more. In the age of 50s, he was having the surgery. And what is mentioned, this was the closest I have been to facing death, and I hope it's the closest superlative degree of close I get for a few more decades. And here clearly it is mentioned that he is expected to live longer, few more decades, but he died after 8 or 9 years of the surgery. Having lived through it, I can now say this to you with a bit more certainty than when death was a useful but purely intellectual concept. So, death is the truth, but this is an intellectual concept according to Steve Jobs. So, here it is mentioned that this is the closest thing that seen death, means it was known to him that he was going to die very soon, but it was his good luck that he survived by surgery. No one wants to die, correct? Even when the person is 8 years old, if you ask them, grandpa or grandma, today if you die, you will go to, means confirm you will go to heaven. Will you die? They will speak, no beta, I want to see your wedding, I want to play with my great grandchildren, etc., etc. They will give you list of dreams. Understood? Even when you speak them that directly will go to heaven as if a ticket is confirmed, still they will deny, because everyone loves their own life. Okay, so no one wishes to die. No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get that. Even when the people who are having the desire to go to heaven, they also don't want to die. They want to live for a long period of time. And yet, death is the destination we all said, but what's the truth? The final destination of life is death. Death is the single destination which is being said by each and every person who are present in this world. No one has ever escaped it, and you can't escape death. It's practically impossible. and that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life, because death is the single as well as best invention of life. It is life's change event. And what is mentioned here? Steve Jobs has given some spiritual feelings, okay, that soul, immortal, etc., etc. All these things came here now. So, life's change event agent. Death is regarded as a source that can change your complete life. How? It clears out the old to make way for the new. It clears, it removes the old one, and the path is created for the new. For example, the people who are 90 years old, they are the old one, they will die, and the kids who are 6-7 years old, you people, you are the new one. You have to see the world, you have to get success in your life. It is mentioned, means the old one will be cleared and the path will be clean for the new one. Right now the new is you. You means who? It is referring to the students of Stanford University, because on the very first of the class, on the very beginning of the class, I have told you that this is, the commencement speech which is being given by Steve Jobs at Stanford University. So here Steve Jobs is speaking that you are the new one, but we are the old. But someday, not too long from now, you will gradually become the old and be cleared away. Cleared away means to remove the mess or to die. And again he is speaking that one day you also will be the old and you also will be cleared away. Means the path will be cleared for the next generation of yours. Sorry to be so dramatic, but it is quite true. And then he is speaking that sorry to be quite dramatic. I am speaking in a dramatic way, but this is the truth. Who has spoken it? Steve Jobs is speaking to the students of Stanford University. Your time is limited. You have to live, yes, our lifespan is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. What are we doing? We are following some film stars, some other people. Yes or no? Means we are just behaving like dumb driving cattle. So here Steve Jobs is speaking that life is limited. So don't try to live the life of someone else. Don't be trapped. Trap means capture by dogma. Dogma means belief which is being placed on you by someone else or by some authority. Understood? So you should not be trapped. You should not be captured by the belief of others, because you must have your own belief which is living with the result of other people's thinking. So this dogma comes when we try to follow someone else, we try to follow the lifestyle of some other people. So here Steve Jobs has spoken that don't be captured in dogma, try to listen your heart. Don't let the noise of others, listen this one carefully, don't let the noise of others, means other people, drown out your own inner voice. Okay? Listen, I am having my voice, you are also having your voice. Suppose you are speaking, I am also speaking. I am speaking louder than you, then what will you do? You will remain silent. Understood or not? But no, don't remain silent. You should not let your own voice be suppressed by someone else's voice. Voice means it is not referring to literal voice. Ideas, principles. Okay, it is referring to the thinking quality, the thinking varieties of thinking. Understood the point? So here Steve Jobs is speaking that you have your own voice. Listen to your heart. Don't let other people's voice to suppress you, to dominate over you. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition, inner knowledge. And the most important thing is you have to follow your own heart. Okay, you have to follow your knowledge. They somehow already know what you truly want to become, because your heart knows what you want to become. Everything else is secondary. After this, accept your own dream, own desire, everything is secondary. Listen to your heart, try to get it at any cost, but in fair way, not in wrong way. Understood this one? When I was young, I means not I, Steve Jobs. When Steve Jobs was young, there was an amazing publication, the whole earth catalog. Okay, listen. Let me speak something on whole earth catalog. It is just like a journal or just like a magazine. It is being published by Stewart Brand. Okay, and this person is living here in Menlo Park. Understood this? So, what is the specialty on whole earth catalog? I have written here. Still I am speaking you. Whole earth catalog was just like a magazine or a journal, and it was containing every data on the universe. Understood my point? If you are searching on a product, you can get it there. If you are searching on the universe, you also can get it there. Whatever you are searching, you can get the idea in the whole earth catalog. That's why it is being spoken that it is Google in the paper form. Right now, whatever you want to search, you can use Google, but at that time, Google was not there. Before the birth of Google, this whole earth catalog was having all the information, all the data on products, things, the world and on the universe. Understood? Which was, and here it is mentioned, which was one of the Bibles of my generation. Here Bible is not written in capital letter. It means here the particular Bible, the holy book is not mentioned. Here the principles of Bible is mentioned. How? Look, normally we are thinking in our religion, Bhagavad Gita, we think that Bhagavad Gita is the source of all knowledge. Yes or no? So here the Christians, they also think that Bible is having the source of all knowledge. Understood my point? Right now, even when we are going to search something on God and goddesses, we are not turning over the pages of Bhagavad Gita, we are also searching in Google. Understood the point? Because we have the hope and we have the idea that Google is having all the data. Likewise, it is mentioned, which was on one of the Bibles of my generation, means it was appreciated by each and every one of the age of Steve Jobs. Okay, in his generation, they were giving high admiration to this whole earth catalog because it was having all the data. But it was not in printed form, it was in paperback form. It was created by a fellow named Stewart Brand. Stewart Brand is the name of the person, author of the whole earth catalog, not far from here in Menlo Park, and he brought it to life with his poetic touch. At the same time, don't think that only he had written the data, etc., etc. There was also poems in the whole earth catalog. There were also images in the whole earth catalog, and he was given it life by the poetic touch. This was in the late 1960s, in the year in between 1968 to 72. Okay, this whole earth catalog was published, and it was a periodical journal. Periodical means what? It was not publishing every day, from time to time, a gap of 10 days or 15 days or 20 days it was publishing, just like a periodic journal. This was in the late 1960s, that is why as it has taken place in the year 1968, that is why it is mentioned late 1960s, otherwise it would have written early 1960s, means 1961, 62, 63, understood it. Before personal computers and desktop publishing. So, before this one, there was no personal computer, there was no desktop. And this is the reason that why it was in paperback form. So, it was all made with typewriters, and how it was being typed? By the help of typewriter it was made. Scissors. What is the use of scissor here? To cut the pictures, because in typewriter we can't type a picture. Understood? So, they were collecting the pictures and cutting the paper, means cutting the picture and pasting it in the whole earth catalog. And Polaroid camera. Polaroid camera means what? Camera, you must have seen in some of the movies that you are taking the picture and instantly the photograph will come. That one means instant photograph can be occupied. That is Polaroid cameras. It was sort of like Google in paperback form. What I told you, that it was just like Google in paperback form. 35 years before Google came along. So, before 35 years of Google, this one came, this whole earth catalog, and it was having almost all the data. It was idealistic and overflowing with neat tools and great notions. It was idealistic, it was looking so subtle, it was too clear, and overflowing means there was filled, means information was filled in whole earth catalog with neat tools. Tools means instrument, and what are the instruments present here? There was pictures, okay, pictures, drawings and great notions, and there were great ideas in that whole earth catalog. Stewart and his team, and Stewart was not the single person to do it, he was also having his team, but Stewart is the chief person, main person. Stewart and his team published several issues of the whole earth catalog, and then when it had run its course, they put out a final issue. So, they did several issues of this whole earth catalog. As I told you, it was just like a periodicals. It was not like a newspaper that every day it was being published, just like periodical. So, when they were doing it in between 1968 to 72, in these years, they also took a final issue of this whole earth catalog. It was in the mid of 1970s, and mid of 1970s means listen, one thing I am telling you, means between 1962 and 68 and 72 it was being published, but after 72 also sometimes, rarely they were publishing some small journals in paperback form, because after that Google also came, and it was the mid of 1970s and I was of your age. And here Steve Jobs is speaking that when they were doing it, means when the whole earth catalog was going, means publishing, at that time he was in the age of the students of Stanford University, 21-22 years old. On the back of their final issue was a photograph of an early morning country road. So, front page, front side, back side. On the back side of the issue, there was a country morning road, means a country village, road is there, sun is also rising, early morning. The kind you might find yourself hitchhiking. Hitchhiking means what? You wish to have a free ride on someone else's vehicle, lift, okay. So, here the picture was quite beautiful, and on if you are so adventurous, so that picture will inspire you to take free ride and to visit different places if you are quite adventurous. And what is mentioned beneath it were the words stay hungry, stay foolish. So, it was written, means the picture was there, and beneath under it was written stay hungry, stay foolish. In the very first class I have told you what is the meaning of stay hungry and stay foolish. Stay hungry means you should not feel that you are satisfied with the knowledge, means you should always remain hungry after grasping knowledge, after acquiring knowledge. You should have the desire to acquire, to gain more and more knowledge. This is stay hungry. Stay foolish means don't think that you are the most intellectual person in the world. Think that you have less knowledge, you know nothing, that's why you want to acquire knowledge. Understood? Here hungry is foolish is not referring to its literal meaning that I am feeling hungry and I will eat. No, here the food is knowledge, and I have always wished that for myself. And here Steve Jobs is speaking that I always wish this one, stay hungry, stay foolish, for myself. So, you also wish the same thing for yourself. And now as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. And right now you are going to be graduated from the Stanford University. That's why I do wish the same thing for you. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you very much. Then Steve Jobs is speaking that I am also wishing the same thing for you, that stay hungry, stay foolish, and thank you very much. Okay, understood? So, what is the theme of this concluding paragraphs? Here it is mentioned on the whole earth catalog, how it was in the paperback form, how it was containing all the information over the world, over any product, over designs, okay, all these things are mentioned. And apart from this, it is also mentioned that Steve Jobs is expecting stay hungry, stay foolish not for himself but also for the students in front of those he is giving the commencement speech, okay, that you should always remain stay hungry, stay foolish. You should be hungry to gain knowledge, and you should think that you have less knowledge, that's why you should run after gaining more and more knowledge. Okay. With this, the chapter is ended. Thank you. Have a nice time.